Now to our GMA cover story. So much reaction to Roseanne. Much like its original run, the reboot not shying away from social issues. And one of the characters on the show is a little boy who likes to dress in girls' clothing, sparking an important conversation for families.
Do you feel like you're a boy or a girl?
A boy.
Roseanne is back and bolder than ever.
So what's up with the girls' clothes?
This just feels like me. I like colors that pop. It's more creative.
How important is this to you?
It's important.
Well, you know it's going to be rough on you at school, right? But we'll back you up.
The groundbreaking sitcom reboot landing in over 18 million American households, igniting an important conversation about how to talk to your kids and grandkids about gender identity.
Kudos to Darlene for letting Mark be himself. I mean, given the choice, who knows how many children would choose a style different from what society has assigned to them.
Sarah Gilbert, who is back playing Darlene and is also a producer on the show, spoke out to Entertainment Weekly about her character's son, Mark, saying, "He's a little boy. He's based on a few kids in my life that are boys who dress in more traditionally feminine clothing. He's too young to be gay, and he doesn't identify as transgender."
Here's the thing. You are weird. I'm weird. This whole family is really weird, right? So you just got to hang in there until people figure out that weird is cool.
Mark's storyline resonating with viewers, some even taking to Twitter saying, #Roseanne talking to her grandson Mark is the best ever. And another, "People need to understand different is okay. Once people get that, we will be fine. Mark is the best character I've seen in 2018.
How does this look?
Oh, you look great, buddy.
These young people who don't know how they identify or are figuring it out or discovering it. This probably opened a lot of hearts and minds and eyes.
And Dr. Jamie Howard, a clinical psychologist at the Child Mind Institute, joins us now to talk more about this.
Yeah, welcome back. You know, they did such a great job opening up this conversation on the show, but for a lot of parents, it's a difficult conversation.
Yeah, it can be really difficult for a lot of reasons. One is that it sort of indicates kids are growing up, and that's just a tough transition for parents to grapple with. The other thing is there's not a clear script for how to talk about this. This is sort of a new topic, and the previous generation didn't have as much exposure to talking about this.
And I think a lot of parents might struggle with, do I bring it up to my child? Should I wait to see if they say something to me? What's the best strategy and how to approach and when to approach your child?
Right, so you kind of want to keep the lines of communication open. You don't necessarily have to seek out a conversation about gender unless you're seeing something out of the ordinary, and then feel free to bring it up in a non-judgmental way. Keep in mind that it's totally normal for kids to explore with different activities, different gender roles, different identities. It doesn't necessarily mean something big about gender, especially in childhood.
Right, especially the child that young is in the show. But, you know, we took the family to see this new movie, Love, Simon, just a couple weeks ago, which is really tackling that a little bit tougher issue, high school boy struggling with how to come out.
Right. And so once we reach adolescence, then sexuality does start to become more of an issue that's relevant for kids, for sure. But gender and sexuality are different concepts. So that's something that people can take away from this current conversation we're having. Gender can be fluid in early and middle childhood, and then maybe or maybe not predicts a sexuality or orientation.
I also think it's important because even if your child isn't struggling with gender identity issues or any sexual preference issues, other children in their class may be, and especially as they get older and as people feel more comfortable, they're seeing it. What do you suggest parents talk to their kids about how to deal with and at least incorporate and accept others?
Right. I usually advise kids and parents to have sort of a curious, open, non-judgmental stance towards others. Individual differences are okay, and it's much more fun and interesting to get to know people for who they are than to condemn them for being a little bit different from you.
In our experience, and maybe it's a narrow perspective, but here in New York City, I think it's easier for our kids than for parents.
Absolutely. This is par for the course for them. This is typical. We haven't had as much experience with people coming out or expressing different gender identities. This is normal for them, and that's great.
Yeah, and it's a beautiful thing to see their acceptance and their non-questioning. And I love all of the movies that are coming out now just exploring love and acceptance. It's helpful for all families to have that conversation. Thank you so much. We appreciate you joining us. And you can see a new episode of Roseanne Tuesday night at 8/7 Central right here on ABC.